Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first video of 2023. Obviously this video is a little bit later than I would have liked given that it is my sort of reading goals for the year and just sort of an update on my channel. I've tried filming this video so many times and it's just not going the way I want, so hopefully this is the time that it goes well. But basically, I just want to talk about my reading goals, my channel goals, where my videos are going to be at this year, what I'm kind of hoping to do with my channel this year. And so I wanted to start with talking about sort of just where I'm at personally. I have kind of been like in this weird place, I'm calling it my quarter life crisis, where I have been sort of reevaluating a lot of my priorities and like what I put value on and what I want to continue to prioritize and put value on. And a big part of that has been like my books and my YouTube and like, is this something that I want to continue pursuing? And it is, but not in the capacity that I have been pursuing it in the past. I obviously last year stuck to a very consistent upload schedule. I was uploading every Saturday and Wednesday for almost the entire year, and then I did Bookmas with, I only missed one day of Bookmas, and so I did a video every day in December except for one, and that was just like a lot of content to make, and it got to the point where I kind of felt like I was just mass producing content that no one cared about. Like, I would sit and film 5 to 8 videos in a sitting, and by the time I was done, I just like never wanted to talk about a book again. Like, I was just so exhausted throughout the entire experience, and I don't think I would ever do it again, to be honest. Like, maybe I would in the future if my channel was like a much bigger part of my life. I think I might pursue that, but for right now it is like a hobby, and so it's not something that I really want to feel like that about. And I don't want to feel like I am spending hours and hours and hours on content that nobody cares about. And I feel like that is how I felt in December, was I kept posting these videos and they were doing like okay view-wise. Definitely like the first week was really rough. Those videos still don't have a ton of views. And I'm not someone who really normally gets caught up in view counts, really. Like, that's never really bothered me. But I just felt like because I was posting so many that I was definitely like aware of the fact that I had like 10 videos that didn't even have 100 views yet on my channel at a time, and that's like pretty unusual for me, and so that was a little bit sort of disappointing, I guess. I don't know what I was really expecting with Bookmas, to be honest. I thought it would be an interesting thing just to try out and see what would happen if I uploaded every day. It's obviously something that's not sustainable long term, but I just wanted to see like what would happen, and like it did do well overall in the end. Like, it was, I would say, like a success for my channel, I guess you could say. But like, I didn't really care because I wasn't happy with the content. So with this like priority shift change that's been going on in my life, I've definitely been reevaluating like my books and my videos and like my reading habits and all of that. So bringing it a little bit into like my reading goals, my book buying goals, things like that. Reading goals, I always set my Goodreads at 100 books. I don't want to feel like I'm trying to reach a certain goal. I don't want to be forcing myself to read books at the end of the year to hit a goal. So I always set it at 100 because to me like 100 books in a year is great. Like, I usually do hit 200, but 100 I would be totally happy with that. Like, I wouldn't be complaining. So that's totally fine with me. That's what I set it at every year, like I said, and that's what it is. This year my goal is actually to read less books, which is probably the opposite of everybody else's goals. But I feel like last year I just read so many mediocre books, and maybe I don't necessarily want to read less books, but I definitely want to be pickier with the books I'm picking up. I want to make sure that I'm picking up books that I'm genuinely excited about, and not just books that I'm like, oh, like I've seen one person talk about this, I'm going to pick it up. And I don't want to be doing that because I've read so many books that I didn't like last year doing it that way. And so this year I'm definitely being a lot more picky with what I'm picking up and like what I'm reading, and making sure that it's something I'm actually excited about, which has been going pretty well so far. Like, I have been enjoying the books I'm picking up for the most part, but that's just sort of where I'm at with that. Book buying, I think one of the overarching themes of a lot of my goals, even in my personal life this year, is I want to start focusing on quality over quantity. And again, with the book reading, that's definitely a part of that as well, where like I want to make sure that the books I'm reading are books that I'm really excited about, not just, oh, I read 300 books but I hated all of them, And so that's definitely a focus. But also in book buying, I've noticed in every area of my life I do this, but I also do it with books, where if there is a book that I really, really want and it's a little bit pricier, say it's an indie book, something like this, where it's like, this is probably like $20 online, maybe $25. I probably would not buy this because of that price tag. And say I'm looking at this book and another one in the series, it's $50 for the two of them. I'm gonna look at that and I'm gonna be like, I'm not spending $50 on two books, even if they're two books that I'm really super excited about. And then like 2 days later, I'll be on Book Outlet and I'll be like, oh, well, they have these, 8 books that I kind of want and like kind of sound interesting. And if I spend $45, I get free shipping, and I will buy those 8 books. And by the time they get here, I'm honestly like, I'm excited when I open the box. But after that, I kind of just like, a lot of times I feel like throw them on my shelf and never really pick them up. I don't really have a ton of interest in them beyond like, oh, this is a good deal. Like, I'm gonna get this in case I want to read it one day. And that one day never comes because I'm busy reading books like this, even though I'm not buying them. And so this year I really want to focus on actually like purchasing books like this, even if they're a little bit pricier, because they're books that I know I'm going to enjoy and want to own, versus buying a ton of books from Book Outlet that I maybe will read someday, but like I'm not super excited about or like dying to get to. Like, I only want to buy books that I absolutely cannot wait to read. Like, I have to be super, super excited to read this book, to purchase it. And I think that's where I'm at this year with book buying. I want to stay away from Book Outlet, so I don't even like go on their website and see what they have, because it's just resulting in me ending up owning tons and tons of books that I may read someday, maybe not. Like, who knows if I'll ever be that bored, and I don't want to be doing that anymore. And again, that like all leads back to the quality over quantity thing. And I've definitely like, I decluttered my bookshelves recently. I'll have an unhaul coming soon. And I got rid of a ton of books, and I kind of want to do one of those videos where I show you my entire physical TBR, but to be honest, it's probably like really embarrassing, because I would guess, just like off the top of my head, that I have at least 200 books that I have not read in my room right now. And there are just like entire shelves that I haven't read. Like this shelf here, I know you can't see most of it, but like I've literally only read like maybe 4 books on it. And this shelf below it, I've only read 1 book from. Like, there are so many books I own that I haven't read, and I definitely want to focus more on that this year, is like getting through a lot of the books I read, so that if I don't like them, I can unhaul them and make space for the books that I do want to own, because things are getting kind of cramped in here. I did get that last bookshelf there for Christmas, and I actually got another one over there behind the camera now. So I definitely have more space, but like I still want to make sure that I'm only buying books that I'm really excited about. Also, in regards to my book buying, I do kind of want to hold off on purchasing books till the end of the year. If you watched my big like $500 book unboxing I did in November, or maybe early December, I think it was actually, I bought a ton of books, obviously $500 worth. And I just got like such a good deal on them from Chapters, and so I'd like to wait for that same sale this year, because I am still someone who likes a deal, and I feel like Chapters has been getting better at getting like indie books. Like, I was able to get this whole series from them, which is like not something that they normally would have. And so they're definitely like, they've got all the Mariana Zapata books and everything. They're definitely getting better at like expanding their indie author collection. So I would like to hold out to purchase from them. I literally am already putting things in my Chapters cart to buy during that sale. Basically, my plan is just every time I want a book, I'm going to go to Chapters and add it to my cart. And then by the time November rolls around, I will go through the cart, see if I still want them. If I do, I will purchase them during that sale. If not, obviously I won't purchase them. But that's sort of my plan for like cutting back on my book buying. Probably won't be a ton of book hauls this year. I will be going to the used book sale that I go to twice a year this year, so you will probably see a haul from that. I didn't have the best luck last time I went there, so I don't know, that maybe I just already own all the older romances that I'm interested in buying. But we'll see. There may be some of those. But that is sort of my plans when it comes to like book buying this year, is definitely like toning it down to books that I really am excited about. I'm a little more lenient when it comes to like the used book sale, because they are like $3 a book. And so if it's something that I've heard of at least, a couple times, and like know that people like, I may pick it up just because it's $3. And I'm fine with that, because I feel like at least it's like more like being recycled, I guess. Like, I donate my books back to this used book sale when I'm done with them. So I am totally fine with that kind of, cheaper books versus ones that I'm extremely excited about, because like you're not going to find indie romances really at these book sales. But I do find a lot of like older Christina Laurens that I don't have, or like even like I've gotten Colleen Hoover books before, and just like different things like that that I probably wouldn't pay the full retail price for, but don't mind having in my collection. So that's sort of where I'm at with that as far as purchasing goes. And again, along with this quality over quantity thing, that is going to apply to my uploads as well. I am not promising any kind of you know, specific upload schedule this year. Literally everything is just going to go up when I feel like putting it up. And I'm hoping that that results in better quality content for you guys, because it won't be me just filming because it's Wednesday and being like, oh, I need something to go up because it's Wednesday. It'll be me actually, you know, excited about filming whatever it is. It'll be something I want to talk about, something I want to share with you guys. And that's the kind of content I want to be making. I don't want to be kind of forcing myself to film something just because it's an upload day. And so that's sort of my goal for this year. Don't take that as like I'm never going to upload, because I will still be uploading a ton, I'm sure. And I may even fall into some kind of upload pattern, but I'm not promising anything in that regard, because I do just want to upload when I'm truly happy with the content and the books I'm talking about, and like that it's something that I genuinely care about, because that's definitely something that I have realized. Like, I've been kind of trying to look at like which videos are doing better or worse on my channel, and I've definitely noticed that the videos that do better are ones that I filmed just because I wanted to, not because I was, you know, trying to film a specific video. Like, I did one last year where I read 10 witchy romances, and I literally only filmed that video because I was reading so many witchy romances that I was like, oh, why not round it off to 10 and I'll do a whole video on it. Like, it was never planned when I started reading the books that that's what I was going to do with them, but I read so many of them that I was like, oh, I might as well do this. And that video has done like surprisingly better than I thought it would. And also like my bully romance rec video, that was like solely for me personally. Like, I did that for myself. And that video is over a year old now, and it is still my most viewed booktube video. And so I really just want to focus on videos that I want to make, because I feel like those are the ones that do better. And it's just where I want my focus to be this year, is things I'm excited to talk about, books I'm excited to talk about, and again, like buying books that I'm excited to read, and just making sure that like everything is very intentional, I think, and not just like, oh, I'm doing this because it's what I do. And I'm really sort of happy with the direction that that is headed and where my content can head with that. I think it's going to open up a whole new sort of realm of videos for me, because I'll have more time to do them. One of the things that I've noticed, and you'll notice this, I talk about it a little bit in my unhaul probably, I tend to kind of go through these like spurts where I'm like, oh, my videos aren't doing well, I need to start reading books from other genres so I can start talking about other genres. But I feel like I'll never know another genre as well as I know romance to be able to recommend solidly, and because of that I end up kind of buying these books that are from other genres that I don't really personally care about, and like maybe someday I would read them, I don't know, but like I said, you'll see a lot of those in my unhaul where I talk about that, because I just kind of, like I said, when I get in those slumps of like my videos aren't doing well, I start thinking, okay, I need to branch out in booktube. And I realized this year, I really like sat down and thought about it, and I was like, my solution to that is always, oh, I need to start reading thrillers or middle grade or fantasy or like whatever, like I need to find another genre. And it's never occurred to me that there is so much of romance that I have left untouched. Like, I have never picked up a historical, I don't read a ton of romantic suspense, there's like paranormal romance I've never really, other than like maybe Twilight, never really dabbled in. Like, I would love to do a whole video just on like vampire romances, but I like literally haven't read any. But I bought a couple in November that I'm excited to get to, and I also, like, there's just so many good ones out there, and that's what I want to do this year, is like focus more on like super niche like romance areas that I haven't really explored in. Like, there's just so much out there. Even like dark romance, like I consider myself someone who's read dark romance, but I went to film a video and realized that I didn't really have that many recommendations that fell under that category. And so there's like so much of romance that I haven't even like scratched the surface on. And that's really my goal this year, is to just branch out within the romance genre. And I think that's really exciting, because there's so much out there. Like, I feel like there's so many channels that just talk about contemporary romance, and that's fine. Like, obviously that's what I've been doing, and that's totally fine. But like, when I start thinking, oh, I need to branch out, my first like brain thought is always, oh, I need to start reading fantasy or this or that or whatever. And even like fantasy romance, like I've only read a handful of those too. There's so much out there that I could be reading to, you know, diversify what I'm reading and talk about different things, different tropes, different subgenres, different settings. You know, there's so many different things that I could be doing that I just haven't been, because I've only been reading contemporary. And so that's like a big goal of mine this year, is to definitely branch out in the romance genre. So I'll have a ton more to talk about, tons of new books to read, and I feel like that will stop also these sort of like slumps that I've been falling into, because I think just reading contemporary romance can become very repetitive. So I really want to branch out and, you know, read paranormal romances and maybe try historicals or different authors that I've never read before, or, you know, dive deeper into Kindle Unlimited. I've been paying for Kindle Unlimited for a year now, and honestly, like, I barely use it. Like I said, I couldn't really focus last year on an ebook, so I just, like, I've been paying for this membership and honestly, like, not even really using it. And so this year I definitely would like to focus more on that and, like, give you guys recs that are on there, because I know a lot of people have Kindle Unlimited and are looking for new books to read. And there's just so much out there that I can do that I haven't explored yet, and I'm, like, really excited to actually kind of dive into that, because I feel like it is a little bit different than what I've been doing in the past, and it seems a lot more me, to be honest, than what I have been doing. Like, I haven't been a super huge fan of what I've been doing. Like I said, wasn't really happy with a lot of my content last year. It felt very repetitive to me. Like, I was constantly doing trope recs and TBRs and whatever. I do think I'm gonna scrap the TBRs, because to be honest, like, I don't read most of the books that I put on them, and also, like, I never watch anyone else's TBR unless it's, like, my #1 favorite YouTuber. Like, I will not watch anyone else's TBR. And so I don't know, like, I don't want to say I'm completely scrapping them, because I may, like, do, like, a summer TBR and a fall TBR type thing where it's, like, more seasonal than, like, every month, but I feel like every month was just a lot. And I might not do mid-month wrap-ups this year. Obviously I won't have one for January because we're already, like, way past the mid-month point, and I've only read 9 books I think so far this month. But I will definitely try to stick to, like, having a monthly wrap-up at some point in time. Can't guarantee when it will go up, but definitely something that I can, you know, keep track of what I'm reading. I do like having those as, like, marker points sort of within my channel of, like, oh, this is when you read this book or this book. And so I do want to keep those. Like I said, so many, like, subgenres that I'm excited to get into and give you guys recs and different types of videos that I've never done before, and just, like, new fresh content, I feel like. And definitely, like, niching down into the romance genre as a whole, which is definitely something that I've never done before, which I'm really, really excited about. And so I think that, like, pretty much sums up all of, like, my channel goals and my reading goals and everything for the year. I don't have any goals really, like, growth wise. Normally I have, like, a number of, like, this is how many subscribers I want this year or whatever, but because I'm not making YouTube, like, my prime focus of the year, I do kind of feel like I'm happy with whatever. Like, I don't really care about any of that anymore. I don't care about views or subscribers or any of that. I just want to be happy with my content, and I think that I'm headed down the road to getting there, which I'm excited about. So hopefully you guys are too. Like I said, videos may be spotty at the beginning until I get into a kind of rhythm where I'm, like, happy with what I'm doing and things like that. I'm gonna say for now that I'm probably aiming for, like, 2 videos a month to start. Maybe more than that. Depends on really what I'm reading, what I'm doing. And I'm excited for that. Hopefully you guys are too, because like I said, it will be, like, some different content than what I normally do, but I think it will be, like, a much deeper dive into romance, which I think is really exciting, because there aren't a ton of channels that do that. Like I said, a lot of them just focus on contemporary, which is totally cool, but I think it will be interesting to, you know, try historicals for the first time, or even, like, I've considered doing, like, a vlog where I try Omegaverse for the first time, but, like, honestly, I've, like, heard some things about that, and I'm, like, not sure that I want to go down that road yet, but, like, we'll see. Like, I'm willing to try anything, and so we'll see what happens. I think that could be fun, and I think there's, like, so much out there, like I said, that I haven't seen or read yet, and I really am excited to start exploring those subgenres. So if you have any, like, good, like, vampire romances, I feel like I'm really, like, entering my vampire era, so if you have any good vampire romances, I already have the Karina Halley books, like, Black Sunshine I think it's called. I have the first 2 in that series, and I'm gonna read those for sure. I have another one saved on my Hoopla that I don't think is a romance, but it's got vampires and it sounds really good. But if you have any other vampire recs, like, please give them to me, because I 1000% will read them. I'm very excited about this whole vampire thing. And so yeah, that is everything for my first video of 2023. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time.